Sawadee Krap. Home True JC. I want to make a video in hopes that somebody from the Thailand government or the Thailand immigration will watch this video. And I'm sorry I can't speak it all in Thai. My Thai is my game, okay? And so, but I wanted to reach out with all due respect. This isn't my bone. I'm not complaining. I'm just offering up a viewpoint, a perception, a perspective of foreigners living or wanting to retire in Thailand. I've been here, living here 18 years on the same visa. And I've always tried to help other people to look at Thailand as a place that they could come and have a peaceful retirement. And before I go any further, I love the country, I love the people, I love the royal family, I love everything about this country. What is causing challenges, not only for me but and for other foreigners, is the immigration policies that are being enforced now. Let's go back for a minute and think about when you retire, anybody retires, what kind of life do you want? Do you want life to get more complicated than back home? Do you want it to be more expensive than back home? Do you want to have less freedom than back home? No, you want a nice, calm, peaceful retirement. And Thailand used to give us this. It was very easy to come live here. And foreigners spend 10 times more than the average Thai person. I've got one friend that he's from England, and in the last year he spent 100,000 pounds. You know how much that is in Thai baht? And he's getting frustrated with these regulations that are popping up and changing all the time. So I just wanted to reach out to somebody of authority and say, let me give you a perspective from a foreigner. And I've, again, always tried to encourage foreigners to fit in Thailand, that we're guests in your country. And we need to act like guests. We need to be polite, respectful, understand the culture, the society, and all that, and fit in. And I also want to say that when we go to stay in somebody's home, not only as a guest, you have to be thoughtful and considerate of the host, the person whose home we're living in, but the host has an obligation as well. And people who come to America and want to stay there, they can get residency, they can get citizenship, if they marry an American, all these things. They don't have to report to immigration all the time. They're not tracked unless they're a criminal of where they are and when they come back. None of that happens. And so foreigners are looking at this going, I don't get it. I don't understand. And so I just wanted to reach out to you all that maybe we don't put a lot of money into your economy, but other countries are opening their arms and welcoming retirees because they're older people. They're not going to cause a lot of problem. They spend money on a monthly basis. And so they want to treat those people well and offer them the opportunity to come live in their countries. And Thailand used to do this. But now, like instituting this TM30. Before TM28, if I moved to a new place, I would go to immigration and file a TM28. That's my new address. Every 90 days, report my address. That was it. That's all that needs to happen. This TM30 and how we're all of a sudden responsible because our landlord or somebody didn't do it and we might get fined, that's not good. I mean, and they say, well, you know, subtract the bad guys. This is voluntary. We do it. No bad person is going to go do it against themselves and say, hey, I'm bad, you all are looking for me, but here's where I'm at. It ain't going to happen. It makes no sense. So I just wanted to mention to you all, rethink some of this. And I know there's a deputy, and I want to say Kopsap or something like that. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. He understands this. He's trying to get rid of some of these complications. I know when Big Joke was in charge of immigration, he came out and said, I'm going to try and make this easier for foreigners. Since that, he's gone and it's only becoming more complicated. And it's becoming so complicated that foreigners are thinking about living in somewhere else. And so the requirement for the 800,000 Thai baht, I understand that. It's always been on the books. But we used to be able to go get an income affidavit, and that sufficed to show we had the 800,000. And now that's not an option for many countries. So you all came up with new regulations. And most people, they could show you they had the 800,000. They could still show you they have the 800,000 coming in as a pension for their retirement. They don't want to bring it all to Thailand. They only spend, say, $1,000 a month, which is a lot more than Thai people spend. And so they don't want to bring it all here. They don't need to bring it all here. And they have bills and obligations to pay some of that money back home. But you all are forcing them to bring it now to this country. And they're saying that, okay, it's got to be 12 months or nothing. And it's like, and if it goes 40,000 one month and then the equivalent of 80,000 next month, no, you can't do that. It's got to be 65, 65, 65. Some people don't even get paid, don't get their pension, but every 2 months. Thai immigration, no, you can't do that. This is becoming too complicated. It doesn't make sense. And now I also want to mention the 800,000. I put the money in the bank. It's not an issue for me, but other people, it is an issue for. And so I just wanted to mention that before I leave the money in the bank. Some other people did that in some immigration offices. The immigration officer said, you didn't touch this money all year. And the people say, the retiree says, yeah, that's for my visa here. But what are you living off of? You're not showing that any money's coming in or out of this account. So they wanted you to spend the money to show that that's what you're living off of. Even if it weren't, you could have been leaving that money in a bank account, but using the ATM to take money every month to live off of and not touching that money so you always could get your retirement visa. Some immigration offices didn't like that. So these are some of the issues that people are facing. Now, immigration's saying, well, we don't want you to use half that money at all. Leave it in the bank. It's got to be in there all year, 400,000. Why? Can I ask why? And 3 months before. 3 months before you're going to apply, it's got to be back up to 800,000. Why? And this is just getting too complicated. And now the insurance for OA. The issues and why your hospitals are operating in the red is because of your insurance schemes for Thai people, not because of the $16 million that foreigners skipped out on. That's a drop in the bucket. That's a little bit amount of money in the overall scheme of why all your hospitals are in the red and not operating with a profit. And then to come out and say those hospitals now are going to have dual pricing where the foreigners are going to pay more than the Thai people. All this stuff makes it appear that you all don't want us anymore. That as Thailand as a country doesn't want foreigners living here that are retirees. Because I say retirees because it doesn't matter if you have money and you're under 50, unless you have the money for an elite visa, you can't come live here. Say you work online, you don't earn any money, you don't take jobs from Thai people, you can't live here if you're under 50. Can't do it. There's no visa for that. Say that somebody gets an inheritance, their parents die or whatever, or they sell a business and they're under 50 and they want to come live here. Unless they spend the equivalent of like 25,000 US dollars to get a visa, they don't get that money back. They can't come live in your country and spend money. They're spending money. We're all spending money in your country. Anybody that has a problem, they come to get their application every year renewed. If they have a criminal record, say, no, we're not going to give you the visa this year, you got to leave. But don't penalize us and treat us like criminals that are here just to have a relaxing retirement. It doesn't make sense. And I hope you don't take this as a negative thing, because I don't want this to appear that way, and I know it is, but there's so many people now that are getting so frustrated and they're saying, well, I'm going to Vietnam, I'm going to Philippines, I'm going to Malaysia, I'm going to any other country where they don't make me do all these things. I just want you to know, maybe you can feel the frustration I'm feeling, because I hate seeing everybody go. I want them to stay. There's people that have families that are leaving and saying, well, I'll come visit every once in a while. There's people that want to retire here that are sending money and supporting families that they're going to hopefully come marry the lady and come live here, that they're stopping. They're not even sending the money anymore. They're saying, nope, Thailand's not an option. So this has to be rethought. I say go back to the drawing board and say, okay, if we were to do this today, forget all these other regulations that were on the books before. I saw how fast you can come up with a new law with this insurance. And this insurance, you're saying, well, with an OA, if you come over, we're only going to give you the amount of time as your insurance has left on it, which means this multiple entry OA you get back from home is only going to be good for the amount of time you have insurance. Well, you only buy insurance for 1 year at a time. So if you get the insurance, get the OA, and you go out a month later, 2 months later, or you come into Thailand 2 months later, you've already lost 2 months off your insurance policy. The regulation, the way it's written, says you can only stay for now 10 months because that's how long your insurance is for. This doesn't make sense. And so you all wrote this new regulation for this insurance really quick. You all can write new rules and new laws. I would go back to the drawing board and say, okay, if we want people to retire here, if you don't want us, just tell us. If you say, oh, we don't want foreigners living here anymore, so we're going to make this so hard that they'll just go find some other place, just tell us. Just tell us we're not interested in retirees in Thailand anymore, and I'm sure we'll all just go find new places, or some people will still comply and stay here, but a lot of people will leave, and they already are. So just let us know. Or go back and look at this from the viewpoint, if we were to create all this retirement program today, how would we do it? And how would we make it as being a good host and take care of these people and make them feel welcome, and create it so we're competitive with other countries who's offering these programs, and that we're getting our needs fulfilled, your intentions of not wanting criminals and not wanting poor people. Nobody wants a poor foreigner who has no money to come live in Thailand, so I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting bring people over that can't pay for their medical bills. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just suggesting maybe to relook at this and create new laws and regulations that make us feel welcome and allow us to stay in a country that we love. And we love the people, we love the culture, we love everything about it. It's just this immigration policy now. There's a story about the frog in the hot water. And this is, you take a pot of water and you put a frog in it. And the frog's happy swimming around. Now you put it on the stove and you turn the heat up. And the frog doesn't realize it's getting hot until the point where he's boiling, and then it's too late to jump out. And the frogs here are starting to boil, and they are jumping out. And so I just wanted to reach out to y'all and say, look at it from our perspective of how we're perceiving what you're doing with the 800,000, the TM30s, the insurance regulations. All of this is making it so much more difficult that we want to retire in a place as we get older that's simple. It's not expensive. It's an easy going life. Sabai sabai. Okay? And so none of this is making it that way. It's making it more difficult. And so people are leaving. And I just want you to know that. If that's your intention, okay. But just tell us that, and it makes it much easier than keep turning the heat up on the frog. Okay? So I don't know if anybody will even see this from immigration or from the government or anything. If they don't, and you might not be able to understand, or I speak too fast, my English, and kato, my pu pasa Thai gang. Okay? But think about it. There's always a way to fix this. But remember two things before I go. If you have a restaurant or a bar or something and people come every day, your local people, puempan, and they spend money every day, they're what we call in English the bread and butter. They pay all the bills. You want them to come every day. You don't want to have to keep trying to get new customers, and new customers. You got to take care of your customers that you already have. And that's not what's happening. and all continue to try and have the people that live here understand and respect the culture, the rules, and the regulations, and abide by them. And be a good guest in your country, but also try and be a good host for the people who are already here, and try and maybe help us feel a little more welcome here in your country. All right? Again, I hope this is taken from the way I mean it, and that's from my heart, from me to you, to help solve an issue that's happening and that I see is becoming a big issue. And we just want to have a peaceful life. So, Kap Kun Kap, Sawadee Kap, thank you for listening.